So over the past decade, it's become pretty well known that Leonardo da Vinci had access to a lot of profound information that realistically and logically he should not have been able to know back in his time. And this has been made aware of recently, as there's been a lot of decryptions that were found in Leonardo da Vinci's artwork that provided the proof of him encrypting this secret information over 500 years ago. Now, what nobody knows is the reason that Leonardo da Vinci actually knew this information and was able to do this, and why he was doing it, is because at that particular time in the simulation, there used to be a thing where it was basically like a hacker in the game. And I call it an unlocked avatar. So essentially what that means is he incarnated into the simulation as if he was a regular avatar, but he had dual access to base reality and the simulation at the same time, and he was just playing undercover like a mole. So what I mean by dual access is, imagine if you were playing a VR headset virtual reality game, but you were holding it just far enough from your head to where you weren't fully immersed in it. If it was on you like this, you were holding it enough where you could look around and still be conscious of the reality that you're actually in, yet still see the virtual world and be aware of both of them at the same time. So Leonardo da Vinci knew that he would not be able to be an unlocked avatar again in his next and future incarnations. So what he had to do was he had to find very clever ways to encrypt all of these secrets as personal time capsules. Now, I cover all of this in my book in chapters 4 through 6 as well. So he had to encrypt information through the form of these personal time capsules so that in his future incarnations as other avatars, he would come across them, and then it would spark and trigger a deep sense of familiarity, and it would unlock the memory of the information to then finish where he left off and finish with ultimately revealing all of this information into the simulation world. Now, the most important thing that Leonardo da Vinci did for an encryption was actually something that he did after his avatar of Leonardo was no longer here. And that was the human design transmission in 1987. So in 1987, that is when Ra Uru Hu, whose original name was Alan, received the transmission from the voice over that 8-day period in Ibiza, Spain. Now, what nobody knows is that that voice was actually the soul in base reality that used to host the avatar of Leonardo da Vinci, and it transmitted the information to Ra, whose name was Alan at the time, as a form of a personal time capsule, as a decoy system and a Trojan horse. So it was meant to look like a literal system for self-help and personality-related aspects, but in reality, the entire thing is a decoy and a Trojan horse. It's a personal time capsule that just contains a bunch of deeply encrypted information that only that soul would be able to understand once it reincarnates into the simulation as a new avatar. So it needed to plant this through the transmission to this guy, Ra, so that he would seed it into the simulation world by sharing the story and the information. And then when that same soul reincarnates again, it would now have that information there that would allow it to unlock the memories of all of the truth of what it actually means. So what I'm going to do for you right now is I'm going to decrypt the secret behind the 5 types in the human design system: generator, manifesting generator, projector, manifestors, and reflectors. So the first thing that I have to make you familiar with is this image right here. This is a frequency map that I've created. It's in my first book, and this does not exist anywhere else. I'm revealing it for the first time outside of my book in this video. This wheel is the official map of the simulation programming, and it contains an infinite amount of encrypted layers of information, which is actually the secret behind astrology, human design, Enneagram, and many other systems. I'm going to use it to show you the secret behind the 5 human design types. For the secret behind the 5 human design types, we're going to overlay the zodiac wheel on the frequency map. Now, we're going to look at the 9 main points, which are all of the white numbers. You'll notice that all 6 of the individual energies, which are 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8, they all line up with exactly one zodiac sign. Points 1, 4, and 7 line up with the 3 water signs, and points 2, 5, and 8 line up with the 3 air signs. Points 3, 6, and 9, these represent soul energies. These are dual hybrid energies that align between exactly 2 signs as a pair. Points 3, 6, and 9 each align with a pairing of a fire sign and an earth sign, because these 3 numbers, 3, 6, and 9, are the soul energies, and fire is actually a metaphor for the light being or the soul. Fire represents the light being and the soul. So earth represents the physical avatar that the soul is synced to, and that's why these are paired together. So each of these three soul energies carries a theme that determines your life purpose, and that is the blueprint behind the human design types generator, which is energy 6, manifestor, which is energy 3, and projector, which is energy 9. Now you'll notice that the element of fire overlaid on 3 zodiac signs, Leo, Aries, and Sagittarius. Those 3 signs of the lion, the ram, and the centaur are serving only as a metaphorical representation of the purpose for soul energies 3, 6, and 9. Now you're probably wondering where manifesting generators and reflectors fit into this. And that's because a manifesting generator is actually just a hybrid, so it contains the soul energies of both 3 and 6. And then a reflector, the secret behind that is that a reflector is actually a metaphor for an NPC. And they don't have a soul because it's an NPC, which means it does not have a light being soul that hosts the avatar. There's no soul synced to the avatar. And this is why reflectors in the human design system are described as having no identity and a sampling aura. Now, going back to soul energy 3, which is represented by Leo, the lion, this is the secret source behind a manifestor, because a manifestor's aura is closed and repelling. And just like a manifestor, the lion is a repelling, self-contained, and powerful aura that is intimidating or unapproachable. It initiates, it acts on its own terms. So the key parallel there is identical aura behavior. In addition, voice as power. Manifestors have their throat with the activation as throat-based initiation, power connected to the throat center. A lion roars from the throat to assert dominance and identity. In addition to that, you have the resistance from others, which is a natural match to the resistance theme. The manifestor is often misunderstood, feared, blocked by others. The lion evokes fear or reactive behavior in almost all species, even other lions. And then lastly, they're not designed for sustained output. So there's an energy cycle alignment. The manifestor has bursts of energy, not sustainable like a generator, and a lion uses quick, powerful burst and then rest to conserve energy. So that's the hidden encryption there. Now, generator, soul energy 6. This is represented by the ram archetype. And again, this is another metaphor because Aries, or the ram, the parallel is the generator aura is described as open and enveloping. So very much like a ram's herd-oriented relational nature. It's attuned to connection rather than isolation. Generators are designed to respond, engaging with life only after something appears in their external reality. Similarly, rams respond to environmental cues, social dynamics, and rivals within the herd rather than acting without cause. So while rams can be powerful and forceful, they act with purpose. A generator, too, waits for the right stimulus before moving forward. Both possess sustainable energy. Like a ram that steadily climbs, grazes, or locks horns when needed, working in rhythm with their surroundings instead of pushing against them. So they have responsive behavior, not initiating, which is a direct behavioral match. They have sustainable physical energy, so it's a perfect stamina alignment. They have sound resonance, the hums, grunts, guttural sounds, energetic and vibrational connection. Both use gut-oriented vocalizations to engage the world. So generators, they use sacral sounds like uh-huh, nuh-uh, and humming as instinctive bodily responses, and rams emit grunts and low hums, especially during mating and territorial behavior. Group-oriented, with individual expression, social species with personal energetic flair. The generator repeats work or actions toward mastery and satisfaction. The ram engages in repeated physical actions, sacral frustration. So again, this is the secret behind where generator comes from. Lastly, we have projector, which is soul energy 9, the centaur archetype. Chiron is a centaur planetoid in astrology, named after the wise centaur from Greek mythology, who was a healer, teacher, and mentor, which is exactly what the purpose of a projector is as well. Now, on a deeper layer, the projector is also represented by the centaur because it is a hybrid creature as a metaphor of 9, since 9 is the only energy that is whole, containing the other energies within it. And this is why the Capricorn and Sagittarius that form it are the only 2 creatures that are also hybrid creatures. Lastly, the projector aura is described as focused and penetrating, which is a metaphor for the bow and arrow, as the bow requires focus to aim and the arrow penetrates, and the metaphor of the projectile weapon as a projector.